Good evening, fuckers. We're back with the next Train Simulator Classic request video, and for this one we have the return of a loco that for a while I was not going to be going anywhere near, but things have changed. Well, to start with, anyway, let's go through the route. So we are on the York to Peterborough modern route DLC, and we're going to do the entire length of this part of the East Coast Main Line. So we are starting at York, platform 3. Our destination is Peterborough, platform 2. We are going to do a couple of stops along the way. We'll stop at Doncaster and at Newark, and then from Newark it will be non-stop to Peterborough. And then yes, the train, we are in a class 91. We're in an intercity 225 train. The class 91 will be leading, and it's in the GNER livery, Great North Eastern Railway, I believe. Would certainly make sense anyway. And as far as the specifics, it is summer, it is cloudy, and it is 10:30 AM. So conditions are absolutely fine. Let's get this show on the road. So here we are, look at that in the top corner. Driver vigilance device isolated. Oh, that's a thing of beauty, that signal, or that sign, notification, whatever you want to call it. I love it. Because, yeah, I'm sure it's not going to surprise anybody, but this is the Armstrong Powerhouse enhanced version of the Class 91. There is no way in hell I was going to do this video if I was still only using the Dovetail Games Class 91. If you are insane enough, you can take a look at my previous video featuring the 91, which I did the London St Pancras to Bedford run in it. And that was in the Dovetail Games one. And bearing in mind of the two different versions, because there was more than just the different liveries with the Dovetail Games 91. I was in the East Coast liveried one, and that was the more bearable of the two. And it was still utterly unusable. If you're feeling really bloody masochistic, Jim Plays, who himself must have been feeling really masochistic when he did it, but he did a video when he was using the intercity liveried Dovetail Games Class 91. Not only that, but he did the entire run of Newcastle to Edinburgh, so it was about 125 miles in the most unbearable train in the game. I don't know how the hell he managed to last it. Anyway, we are not in the Dovetail Games one. We are in the yes, the Armstrong Powerhouse one. So let's get everything set up. Alright. Need to sort out the lights, which is not going to take much because that's them done. Right. Instrument lights on. Do we need cab lights? It is a bit murky in here, which is not really that surprising because, yeah, one of the issues I have with the design of the Class 91 is there is the windscreen. You've not got a great view, and of course subsequently there's not a great deal of light that comes in, and yeah, there's not a hell of a lot as far as side lighting goes. There also aren't any side windows I can open to yeah, get the improve the audio, although the audio is unsurprisingly infinitely better in this version than it was in the Dovetail Games one. So here we are at York Station. I do like the livery that we have for this. Let's let the passengers on, if I can remember the right keys. Well, I don't think it will work if I use, yeah, so okay, right, we won't be letting the passengers on. We'll assume they're already on. I think we are all set. So Peterborough is 112.14 miles away. Our first stop will be Doncaster. Seeing as we are starting here in York, that is probably not that far away. So turn DRA off and let's get underway. We are in quite a big old train here. We have 9 passenger coaches, plus the DVT at the rear, and our loco on at the front. So something else that we can do, which is, look at that, an actual usable speed set. So we'll be making full use of that throughout the trip. So 30 mph limit as we are pulling out of York Station. It is about to go up to 40. Up to 40. The thing is, the speed set in the Class 91 is a bit rudimentary, and it's not long before you're having to make some sort of adjustments, because what you set and the speed that it will actually do are different, shall we say. So even though, right, we can go up to 90, but I'm keeping it at 40 at the moment just so you could see it actually went up to 40.4. So yeah, I have got the lights on, instrument lights on. So there we are. Right, so set to 90. Let me just double check. Instrument lights, yeah, not only are they on, it's on bright. Maybe if I turn the cab lights off, yeah, there you go, I can see them better then. Yeah, who said I needed cab lights? What a stupid idea. Right, so we're now on a 125 limit section, but I'm actually going to set the speed set to 120 because, like I say, it does go over. And I don't really want to be getting any speeding errors. Can we actually do, you know, a reasonably long distance run without getting any speeding errors? I mean, there's no denying that even though I'm not the biggest fan of the Class 91, it is quite a nice looking thing. My real problems with the Class 91 stems from the extremely misleading Intercity 225 name and how badly it was done by Dovetail Games. But that obviously has nothing to do with the real thing. Quite why Dovetail Games felt it necessary to include the feature of the driver vigilance device that could not be isolated and went off every 60 seconds regardless of the inputs. And Dovetail Games themselves will justify it by saying it was accurate. That was you know, a feature of the Class 91, and yeah, they'd be right, it was. But it was so unpopular, the drivers hated it so much that they refused to drive 91s. And you can check that up on online, and that you'll see that was the case because of that feature. It made driving the things unbearable. So bearing in mind that these are guys who are being paid to drive the 91s and they were refusing to do it, who the fuck came up with the idea of, oh, let's include it in a game which people are supposed to do to enjoy themselves? They're not getting paid to play this. So, you know, drivers are getting, you know, were being paid to drive the 91 and refusing to do so because it had that feature, but Dovetail Games in their infinite wisdom decided to implement it into the game. Class 43. So we've reached 120 mph. Let's see how much it goes on, bearing in mind, yeah, the speed set is set to 120. Does look like it has stopped. So we'll set it to 125, but rather like when I'm driving any of the 800 series, we'll have to ease off the throttle once we hit 124. Which we have reached now. We'll let it go up to 125, so at least we can say, yeah, we've done the top speed. There we go, so 125, let's throttle down to 48. That might be a bit too low. Still losing speed. Yeah, like so much of the East Coast main line, we're really going through a lot of completely open country, not a great deal to see around here, not at the moment anyway. Okay, I've already lost 5 mph, so let's throttle back up. So another 43, here it is. Driving one of these, as you pass the, whenever you pass the 43, you can almost hear it saying, "I'm the daddy here." I mean, there's no doubt in my mind that the Class 43 is the superior loco by a long way. Like I say, it doesn't mean I hate the 91, but the 43 is way ahead. But it is just so good to be able to now drive a 91 in this game, and it's an enjoyable experience. It's just so much better. The audio is right, the throttle is right, the you know, being able to isolate the driver vigilance device. Well aware of the fact that there are players out there that like having the driver vigilance device activated. That's fine. You can just simply reactivate it. It's not off permanently. You can switch it back on. And then, yeah, it seems like the speed set is actually usable. You know, it's great. And here's another 43. Coming past the towie, on the daddy now. At some point on this run, I'm sure we will see one or two Class 89s, because this is the route that is determined to make people think that the 89 went into mass production. Now, the only thing I have not yet been able to try with this AP Class 91 are the brakes. I only drove it for a very short while, nowhere near as long as I already have in this video, let alone the entire length of this run. So yeah, I'm interested to see how it does when it comes to yeah, doing our stops. Our first stop at Doncaster is probably not that far away. So there we go, the first of the Class 89s. Because the 89 was being developed at exactly the same time as the 91 here. There was always going to be a case of, right, one will win out and one will not. I think the right one won, despite my reservations about several aspects of the 91. I do think it is a better loco than the 89. I mean, the 89 is a pig ugly looking thing, but you know, if you go, well, if you're going by aesthetics, the 91's great when it's going in this direction, but if it's going blunt end first, it is a real pig. It's a fucking horrible looking thing. But yeah, both the 89 and the 91 were they basically made use of a lot of features of the then recently cancelled APT. To this day, I think that was one of the biggest mistakes that BR ever made. Pass a 56. But the cancellation of the APT was purely political. The train was fantastic. It's probably the greatest train to have ever run on the British Railways network, but yeah, it wasn't to be. A wasted opportunity, I think. So we're already 20 miles into this. Absolutely breezing through it. So according to the ETA, we will be in King's Cross Station in just over an hour. Yeah, another 43, but then it's no surprise seeing a lot of 43s on this route. Well, certainly wasn't a surprise in the 80s anyway. Or late 80s. The 91 started operating in 89. During its test runs on this very line, in fact this very section of this very line, the 91 took the speed record for a train in this country. 162.7 mph. The APT was the original holder. Only just broke it. The original record was 162.2. So it beat it by half a mile an hour, but it beat it. Still out in open country, and let's be honest, unless we are coming into a station, this is going to be the case for almost the entire run. It's really, well, we're only going as far as Peterborough, and it's really between Peterborough and King's Cross. So yeah, that's something I said earlier. Oh yeah, we're going to be at King's Cross in an hour. No, we're not going to be at King's Cross now. We'll be at Peterborough in an hour. Yeah, it's on the final section between Peterborough and King's Cross that you're actually going to see anything other than flat open country. Of course, over the last couple of days, well, certainly at the time of recording, the British Railways network hasn't exactly had much in the way of good PR. I think most recently there was the derailment of the Class 390, the Pendolino, on the West Coast Main Line, as we have another Class 89 passing us. Yeah, so that derailment, I think it was around Shap way. Has now been cleared, but yeah, there was some pretty hefty disruption there. And then, of course, worst of all was the knife attacks on the I think it was an 801, and that was on the East Coast main line. I think it was on like pretty much the area we are doing now. But the really weird thing is that it was something that Jim worked out, and after he was telling me, I sort of went and double checked it, and it was like, yeah, he's right. When it was happening, he was doing his video in Train Simulator World, TSW4. Oh, I wasn't paying any attention to all these speed decreases. We're coming in way too quick. Too busy waffling. This looks very much like Doncaster station, but it's yeah, we're not going to be stopping at Doncaster. We're on the avoiding line. Okay, so scratch the Doncaster stop. We'll see if it will let us stop at Newark. Anyway, we're into a 120 zone now. I've set the speed set to 120, but I'm pretty certain that by the time we get to that speed, we'll be in the 125 zone. Anyway, to continue my story, yeah, at the time that that knife attack was happening, Jim was recording his Train Sim World 4 video, where he was in exactly the same train, on exactly the same line, the East Coast main line, and on the exact same section where the attack happened. Coincidence? Yes, obviously, but it is quite the staggering coincidence, really. So anyway, let's actually start concentrating on what we're doing now, because that was a bit of a disaster going through Doncaster there. I mean, you can't blame me for wanting to get through Doncaster as fast as possible. I mean, the place really is an absolute shit pit. But I did say at the start, or fairly near the start of the run, that I didn't want to get any speeding errors, and I ended up picking a huge great one. On a 1 in 198 uphill climb, it's very unlikely to have any kind of impact on our acceleration, but yeah, high speed trains really do not get on with gradients at all. We have a speed decrease coming up down to 110. Now I don't know if the speed set uses the brakes. Looks like it is. certainly wouldn't want to rely on them, you know, or you wouldn't want to be using the speed set to bring your speed down. That was the mistake I made in the, yeah, so far the only video I've done where I was in the class 89, and there was a part in that where I'm amazed I did not derail. I went over points at more than twice the actual speed limit for that section. And yeah, and the reason for it was that I was using the 89's speed set to bring my speed down, and it wasn't coming down anywhere near fast enough. So there's our third 89. Actually, it might even be our fourth. But yeah, I'll say this route DLC is absolutely you know, adamant that the 89 did go into full production. I have to say it is quite good to see the 89 back up and running again. I would not be remotely surprised if they do actually put it back into admittedly a limited service, but I wouldn't be at all surprised if it started doing runs again. Certainly more than capable, especially after all of the like pretty major like repairs and what have you that they've done to it. I mean, the thing is not a museum piece, it's still more than capable. It really should be out there, you know, in full operation. Despite yeah, my reservations about a number of aspects of the 89, I do always think it's a shame that there was only ever one. Not exactly been too sharp on the when it comes to noticing the speed differences, so yeah, we've probably been back in a 125 zone for a little while, and yet I've been keeping us at 110. I have a feeling we're only going to get the overhead view on this particular angle. So there is a reduction coming up very slight one down to 120. Yet another 89 passes by. No idea what station that was. Now just quickly going back to so we have a 115 mph speed limit reduction. But yeah, just quickly going back to the Train Sim World video that Jim Plays does in the Class 800. Definitely worth taking a look at. There was a moment in that when he was going through a section that had green flashing aspects. Yeah, flashing green aspect. And he wasn't sure what it signified. Well, we are in the one and only train that aspect was really made for. And what the flashing green aspect indicates is that yeah, if you are in a class 91, you're authorised to go to its maximum operational speed, which back then, the time that signal aspect was used, was 140. And although Jim was not driving a class 91, he was in a class 801. That is a train that is more than capable of doing 140. It's one of many that are on the UK rail networks today that is capable of doing 140. But no, there is only one part of the entire UK rail network where 140 mph yeah, is allowed, shall we say. And that is on HS1. I dare say HS2 when it gets built. Although, yeah, if you watch my fairly recent video on the Chiltern line in the Class 68, you will get my opinions of HS2. They're not what you would call hugely positive. Which I'm sure comes as a big shock to a lot of people, you know, me being negative about something. So we are now over halfway. Another 43. it is only going to be the overhead view. So while I'm here, I can also let you know about some new additions as far as routes that you can now request. I've mentioned in a couple of recent videos about a freeware route that I've been trying to get to work that connects Bedford to Luton. That is now working, and the way it works is you can actually go from St Pancras to Leicester. Did I say Bedford to Luton? I think I did. I was meant to say Bedford to Leicester. But yeah, the way it works, you can now, you can start in London St Pancras and continue on right the way up to Leicester on the same single route DLC. Sure, it won't surprise you to hear that that's a video that I've got planned. I've also got an updated version of the Edinburgh to Glasgow line, which is now fully electrified. So yeah, any emus or electric locos that use the overhead AC power can now do the Edinburgh to Glasgow route. And the third line, the one that really does surprise me, past yet another 43. Yeah, big thanks to the YouTuber Mk.3 who gifted me the West Highland extension route, so I can now do the Fort William to Mallaig run. And oh, believe me, if you are a fan of the scenic routes, it's an absolute must. That's another one that I've got lined up as far as future vids, near future vids. So yeah, several, well, 3 additions to the route options. They've all been added to the pinned comment in the most recent Your Requests Here video. So yeah, feel free to browse that when it comes to putting your requests in. So 100 mph speed limit reduction. It's a fairly short speed limit reduction, and we're going to coast this because I am not sure we are going to be able to we're not going to coast it. I'm going to apply brakes as well, because we've got to take off 25 mph, but we've got to take off a lot more than that because we have Newark station coming up. That is one of the 2 stops I had planned. Couldn't do the first one obviously because it put us through the avoiding line, but we can do the Newark one, so we shall. There is the section where the Midlands main line crosses the East Coast main line. That is part of the route that takes you from Nottingham to Lincoln, and that is a video that I've already done in the Class 67, I think it was. I have had to put the brakes on fairly hard here, step 4, and our braking rate is not fantastic. I mean, it's not awful by any stretch, but I thought we would be braking harder than we actually are. Try and get all of the carriages on here. There we go. That looks good to me. Right. Yeah. I still need to try and remember what the keys are for opening the doors, because I'm clearly using the wrong ones. I've just turned the lights off in all the carriages. I don't think they'll be too thrilled about that. But, yeah. Oh well, looks like everyone's stuck here. Because, yeah, they can't get out. Right. So we are already on a 125 mph section, so let's get the speed set straight up to 125. Let's get underway. Brakes off. Let's see how this thing accelerates to 125 from standstill. I think that beep might have been the guard telling me that the doors have now shut, so I may get a yeah, moving while doors are open error. But yeah, there was no sign of the doors being open on the platform there. The acceleration from standstill is not fantastic, but you do need to take into account that this is quite the heavy train that we are pulling here. 9 coaches, the DVT, and obviously the weight of the loco itself. It's got to be surely somewhere in the 500 ton region. And like all high-speed trains, its gear ratios are set fairly high, so it's all about getting the speed. Its torque figures are not so great. Is this another 89 that's coming towards us here? It looks it from here. Yep, it is. I'm going to have to do a video in a Class 89 on this stretch of the East Coast Main Line at some point. Or anywhere for that matter. 89 has only made one appearance in my on my channel so far. Well, certainly in the request videos. It did also make an appearance in one of the earlier live streams that I did. And speaking of live streams, I don't think there are going to be too many people who will be sorry to hear this, but I think it is highly unlikely that I will do any more of the long distance routes in live streams. So any future any future Train Simulator Classic live streams will probably be me doing various career scenarios. It's another 43 approaching. Still accelerating away from Newark. Reach 120. I just thought on the off chance it might actually happen, but no. So there we are, 124. I'll throttle down from there. So yeah, it's not the fastest accelerating, but it certainly accelerates faster through the hundreds than the Class 43 does. But from standstill to 100, 43 seems to clearly out accelerate this thing. 115 mph max coming up. Made it easy. Still over half a mile away. There we are in the 115 zone. I don't know where that 100 came from. That yeah, there was, and now it's back up to 115 again. But yeah, that 100 section was not marked anywhere on the HUD, so I really do need to become less less reliant on it. So we're now in the Stoke Bank area. So this is the part of the run where where the Class 91 made the record-breaking run. So we have speed reduction to 100. And that's why we approached the Grantham station, but we are not going to be stopping there. So here we are, Grantham station. Another 89 passing by. Not only do we get so many 89s, but so many of them are light engine. You can now go back up to 115. Yeah, that is it. Peterborough is now just 25 miles away, and in less than a mile we will be able to go back up to 125. So in fact, I was wrong earlier on when I was talking about Stoke Bank. This is Stoke Bank here. I think this is now the most Class 89s I've seen on a single run. The previous record was 7, I'm sure it's been more than 7 now. So this one in 178 downhill section may mean that it might be enough to actually affect our acceleration and have us going faster than well, I was going to say have us going faster than we want. I actually want to be able to do like 155, but yeah, faster than the speed limit will allow anyway. There we go. What have I got to ease the throttle down to? Oh, I'm sure 31 is too low. Yeah, it is. Let's take it up to around 50. Well, actually, it's now, ground has now leveled out, so you may have heard a few bangs just then. I did start doing this with the last vestiges of daylight still out there, but yeah, that's now gone. So this is probably going to be the only one of these vids I'll be doing tonight, because yeah, it's going to sound like I'm in the middle of fucking Gaza in a bit. Ease off the throttle a bit because we're up to 125. Okay, ground has leveled out again, so put it back. Yeah, another one, and yet again a light engine. Okay, so distance to Peterborough is now single digits. So I'd imagine we're going to get some speed reductions pretty soon. Not sure if these are actually lakes or reservoirs around here. Never seen so many light engines. I thought there would have been at least one speed reduction by now. Oh, there we are. In fact, let's turn the speed set off. Because we are certainly going to be slowing pretty soon. In fact, we'll continue slowing beyond the 115 because, yeah, Peterborough now just a couple of miles away, and we are flashing so we're going on to a different line just as we approach Peterborough station, hence the 30 mph limit there. Need to start braking a bit more heavily than this. Oh, we made it anyway. In fact, we made it a lot earlier than I thought we would. So yeah, this is where we are being diverted. Well, we really are being diverted. So there we are. That is, yeah, a train with people who are still unable to get off it, but nevertheless, that was York to Peterborough in the class 91. Yeah, the Armstrong Powerhouse 91. Infinitely better than the only 3 speeding errors. Mind you, they were pretty hefty every time I got them, and I didn't get a moving with the doors open error, which I felt certain I would have got. But yeah, the Armstrong Powerhouse Class 91, it's just, you know, light years ahead of the dreadful Dovetail Games version, and yeah, as much as I hate to say it, if you do plan on driving a Class 91 in this game, you have to get the Armstrong Powerhouse one, because yeah, the Dovetail Games version is just unplayable and utterly unbearable at that. So yeah, the AP one is everything that the Dovetail Games one isn't. But anyway, there we go. That was a good one. I do like the old high-speed intercity runs, and yeah, that was great. So that is this video done, and we will see you at the next one.